The man had just dropped his daughter off when a terrorist attack happened. A huge blast wave knocked him down. When he woke up again, he rushed into the smoke in a hurry, but all he found was his daughter's body. So the man took out all his savings, only hoping to catch the killer quickly. The sheriff had no choice but to tell him. The attack was planned by a terrorist group called RIA. After hearing this, the man left without hesitation. Soon he locked onto the target, an Irish politician, once a leader of RIA. The man went to find him, hoping to get answers from him, but the politician refused to say anything. Seeing this, the man said no more. He walked into the toilet, took out the prepared explosives, tied the bottle mouth with a rope and hung it in the air. Then he lit a cigarette. After that, the man left calmly. A violent explosion threw the whole building into chaos. No traces were found at the scene. The politicians in the building were furious, but this was just a small warning from the man. He would do anything for revenge. Soon his second revenge came. The man made a batch of bombs at home. That day, when the politicians' men were about to drive, one of them suddenly noticed something wrong. He opened the fuel tank carefully and found a note inside with a name on it. It turned out the man didn't plan to kill them. He just wanted to tell the politician he could kill him anytime. The politician had to return to his manor. He had an elite special police team deployed there. He thought he could rest easy this way, but all this was part of the man's plan. He drove to the politician's manor, covered his car with branches, and erased his tracks. At night, he snuck into the stable with bombs and took care of 2 sentries easily. As the countdown hit 0, a huge flame burst through the stable. When the politician heard the explosion, he rushed out of the manor. He knew this was the man's final warning. The enraged politician sent men to arrest the man. In the carpet search, they soon found traces of the man. Little did they know this was all the man's plan. The first man stepped into the woods and was tripped by a steel cable. The man hiding nearby immediately covered him. The others found the man's backpack, and as they walked forward, their feet were pierced by traps. Using these traps, the man took down all the men. He grabbed one of them and forced him to tell who really killed his daughter. To survive, the special forces soldier had to reveal where the killer was hiding. The man rushed to the target location, ready to finish his revenge. He built a bomb shelter at home and lived in it with his wife. They had just hidden inside when a huge explosion occurred outside the house. To avoid nuclear radiation, the man quickly sealed the iron door of the bomb shelter and set a countdown switch. They could only go out after 35 years, when all nuclear radiation had dissipated. But they didn't know the explosion outside was caused by a plane crash. During the long wait, the couple had their first child. They named him David. Fortunately, the bomb shelter had enough supplies, so they never worried about food. The father taught David to read from childhood and various fighting skills. The mother taught him etiquette and essential skills for social occasions. Soon it was David's 35th birthday. They had almost forgotten the countdown. That night a loud noise woke them up. They approached and saw the iron door had opened automatically, indicating the danger outside had passed. The family could finally return to the surface. The father offered to check the situation outside first. The once bustling residential area was now in ruins. He nervously looked around and found people outside acted very strangely. Frightened, he ran back to the bomb shelter and described what he saw outside. The father believed the nuclear radiation hadn't ended and they should set another countdown. But by then his wife was unhappy. She didn't want to stay in the basement forever, nor did she want her son to be trapped here for a lifetime. During the argument, the father had a heart attack. The mother hurriedly gave money to David, asking him to go out alone to buy supplies. David took the elevator slowly up to the surface. When he pushed open the door, he was stunned. It was the first time he had breathed outside air, but he didn't forget his mission. He then took a bus to the supermarket to buy supplies. 35 years later, prices had increased tenfold. The money his mother gave couldn't buy anything. David had to go home first to find a way. Since it was his first time out, he couldn't find his way home until passing by a collectible store. He tried to exchange the baseball cards his father gave him for money, but the boss deliberately lowballed him to cheat. Just then the clerk came out. She unhesitatingly exposed the boss's lies and got fired for it. David fell in love at first sight with the kind girl. He asked her to help him sell the baseball cards. Of course, he would pay her a salary. The girl agreed decisively. During the long period of getting along, the girl also developed feelings for him, so David took her to meet his parents. To help his parents adapt to life above ground better, David sold some stocks and bought a large piece of land in the suburbs. Finally, the whole family lived happily together.